everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. This is my April TBR as well as my to-be-read pile for the Magical Readathon, which is happening all throughout April. This is my first time taking part in the Magical Readathon, so I'm doing my OWLs for the first time. I'm so excited. I'm going to be vlogging each week, I think, so stay tuned for my weekly vlogs. I posted a video the other day in which I was trying to choose my Hogwarts career. I was trying to choose between Magizoologist and Hogwarts Professor for care of magical creatures. I have chosen Hogwarts Professor because I think it's probably the one that I'm most passionate about. I really like the flexibility of the OWLs that you can do. You need to do 7 in total, and you need to do the subject that you're going to teach, which is care of magical creatures and defense against the dark arts, but the other 5 can be anything you like. So I really wanted to do that one because I would like the idea of mood reading, and I can find a few different books that fit into the different categories. So I'm going to quickly go through my Magical Readathon TBR first, which may change because I may decide to do a different OWL to the one that I've already chosen. For the care of magical creatures prompt, I have to read something with a beak on the cover, and I've only got one book that fits that prompt at the moment, so I might have to buy another one, or I might just suck it up and read this. That is Blackwing, which I've had on my shelf for ages. It's a advanced reader's copy from 2017, which is a while ago, so I really should have read it by now, but I haven't. So I think I'm going to pick this one up. I know that it's kind of a grimdark fantasy and the entire trilogy is out, so maybe if I enjoy this I can marathon the trilogy. For defense against the dark arts, I need to pick a book that's set on the sea or on the coast. I have 4 options for this and maybe some more as well, but these are the 4 that I've narrowed it down to. The first one is Passenger. I don't really know much about this one. I know that it came out around the same time as Truth Witch and it was really well received. I think it's set at sea because there's a ship on the cover, so I assume that it is. I've also got After the Flood, which is set during the post-apocalypse and the world has become flooded, so pretty much everything is the coast in this book. The House on the Lake, which is an advanced reader's copy that I received. This one comes out, or came out in February rather, and I still haven't read it. I guess the coast could still count as the side of a lake, so I'm going to count it if I do decide to read this one. And then there's also my favourite Half Night Stand, which I would have had on my April TBR anyway, and I think this is set in LA or San Francisco. I don't know that for sure, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the impression I get from the cover. I'm trying to read through a lot of Christine Lauren's books, and this is next on my list, so it would have been on my TBR anyway. So those are my choices for the 2 OWL prompts, and then the other ones that I'm considering doing, there are quite a few. I'm just going to quickly list off the OWLs that I'm interested in, not go through my set TBR because you'll be seeing those in my vlogs. I want to maybe do arithmancy, which means I need to read the opposite genre to my favourite genre. I don't know what my favourite genre is, so I could just pick anything. Astronomy, I need to read something at night. Divination, I need to assign my TBR numbers and use a random number generator. For this one, I'm actually going to be picking from my list of sci-fi books that I posted about recently because I want to read all of them after talking about them in that video, and then I'll be reading one of those. Muggle Studies, I need to read a contemporary. That should be easy enough. I read quite a bit of contemporary. And then for my 7th one, I'm not too sure what I want to do. I could either do History of Magic, which is a book about witches, especially because I'm planning on rereading the first Harry Potter book this month because it's been on the cards for a while. I'm actually going to be reading the illustrated edition, but this is the one I had at hand. I haven't reread Harry Potter in absolute years. I think I reread the first one actually more recently, maybe a few years ago, but I haven't read the rest of the series, and I think I've only read the Deathly Hallows a couple of times since it came out, so this year is going to be the year that I reread the whole thing. I could also do Herbology, which means that I need to read a book that starts with M, or I could do Charms, which means I need to read a book with a white cover. I do have options for all of these, but I'm mostly going to go in blind because I want to do some mood reading, which is my whole reason for choosing this Hogwarts career, because I feel like since I'm already restricted in that I'm not allowed to leave the house, I don't want to restrict my reading any more than I have to. But that said, I do have some more books I want to show you that I'm hoping to read because I'm very ambitious with this TBR, and since I am stuck at home, then I might as well try to get some reading in, although that didn't really go to plan in March. One of the books that I definitely want to read is The Kingdom of Copper. I mentioned this last month, but I didn't get around to it because I got into a slight reading slump, and this book is huge, so I want to reread this one in time, not in time for the next book. I want to reread this one and then get to Empire of Gold, which comes out in the summer, but I have an advanced reader's copy, so if I could get to that in April, that would be a dream, and then I can put together a review of either each book individually or the entire series in one. I'm not really sure how I want to approach that yet. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. And then I've also got some books that I have had my eye on for a while. I'm just really in the mood to read them, so I figured I would put them on my TBR, maybe try to slip them into the OWLs Readathon, or I could just, you know, read them by themselves. So I've got 5 books here that I was really in the mood for, or that I was meant to get to as review copies, but I didn't get around to in time because I got into a slump and then life was busy, then Corona happened, I don't know. The first one is The Unspoken Name. This is one that I definitely want to get to this month. I'm really in the mood for it. This one is about a woman who is outcast, I think, or is chosen by a magician, and she becomes an assassin, or she was already an assassin, and then she has to train with this mage. I don't really know much about this one, but it does sound quite good, and I also love the cover. Like, this is stunning. Queen in Hiding, another review copy. I have heard that this book was kind of disappointing, which is a shame, but I think it's about a girl who becomes a queen, and she is kind of forced back into her queendom, in order to rule it, and I think she's a bit hesitant to do so. I'm hoping that this one is going to be a really fast read, and if I enjoy it I can definitely pick up the sequel soon. I then might pick up I Am Thunder, which is a contemporary book. So this one might fit into the OWLs prompt as well. I'm just really in the mood for this one. I think it's feminist fiction. It has so many good reviews, so I'm hoping it's going to be really good. Semiosis, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but basically I picked this one up from a book swap at work. I decided to put this one in my TBR this month because I'm really in the mood for science fiction. I don't know anything about it. I think it's something about terraforming another planet. It's very short, it should be easy to fly through. I'm hoping it's going to be good, but I know my co-worker who donated it to the book swap really didn't enjoy it, but I don't know if science fiction is normally her thing. Playing with Fire, which is an adult urban fantasy about someone with fire magic powers, I think. I picked this one up years ago. I think it must have been pretty early on in my booktube and book blogging career. It came out in 2011, so there's a very good chance I picked it up around then. I don't know, I'm just kind of in the mood to read something about people with abilities or powers, and this one is one that I found on my shelf. Empire of Sand, this one is an adult fantasy book. This one might also fit into a couple of OWLs prompts, so that will be good. I actually just noticed that the author of The City of Brass blurbed this one, which makes me so excited. I really want to pick this one up. I've had it for ages. My friends all love it, so I'm really looking forward to getting around to it, and I put it on the TBR because I'm in the mood for it. And then I have 2 books to read that I need to get to for recaptains because I have promised people recaps of them. 3 actually. I need to get to 3 books. So this TBR is looking like worse and worse. I don't know how I'm going to manage to get through all of these books. I realised that I read 29 books in February, but I really don't want to push myself to do that again in April, so we'll see how this goes. But the first book that I want to read to recap is Wicked Saints. Don't know much about it. I just know that people kind of loved it, and then the hype died down, and now people seem to not enjoy it as much. I also really want to read Truthwitch, which I've had for the longest time from NetGalley, and I just still haven't read it, so that will be a good excuse for me to read it, up my NetGalley percentage, and also recap it for recaptains, and hopefully the rest of the series as well. And then finally, the last book on this list is one I'm also recapping, and that is Once and Future. I received this one as an advanced readers copy, not from the publisher though. I received this one as a gift from a friend. This is basically gender bent King Arthur in space, and I think my friend Judith said that it's more young adult, no, new adult than young adult. I do know what I'm talking about, I promise. Kind of. I don't really know much else about it other than King Arthur. I think the main character is a descendant or a reincarnation. I'm looking forward to reading it. I really like the cover, so I hope that I enjoy it more than some people have. So those are all the books that I've decided to put on my April TBR for the Magical Readathon or otherwise. I realise that I am being very, very ambitious with all of this, but I'm very keen on mood reading, and so I picked out some books from my shelf that I would be interested in reading. I'm not expecting to get to all of them. There will be some that I have to prioritise for various things, but I'm hoping that I'm going to have a good time reading in April, and I'll be able to talk about these books with you towards the end of the month. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Bye!